something that I would like to write about sociophonics. It's about the sounds of identity. So I want to write a book called Sociophonics that's based on sociolinguistics. Okay, phonology is rather barren field of linguistics. Nobody wants to talk about phonology. Nobody wants to write anything about phonology. So if you want to invest your time and energy, and I would say phonology is the best place for you to invest on, because not many people work in phonology. So in the case that there will be more chance for you to work in the field, or also there will be a very good chance for you to publish or get published in phonology. I think it's a good one. Because I've been trained as a sociolinguist, and phonology is part of it. Then I think it would be a good idea if I can work on field what I call sociophonics, the sound of identity. But again, I have so many things to do, mostly on teaching, then I have got no time to write a book. Okay, even I couldn't finish the book that I've written. So I got 2 drafts of books, but I couldn't finish it because I don't know. I've got no time to work on it. Okay, let's see. Last week we talked about natural classes, and today I would like to go on talking about the use of natural classes, the theory of natural classes on the sound of identity in interaction. This is what I call and tomorrow is going to be a very big day. I don't know how big it is because I haven't talked about it with Pak Nuryadi. Pak Nuryadi is the head of Research Institute of Education Department, not education, Faculty of Education, and FKIP. And he's going to run a workshop, not for students, but for PhD lecturers. And I'm going to be one of the trainers, and I'm going to work with them on how to get published. But I don't really know what Pak Nuryadi expects from us. I'm not sure about it, but I think I will share some ideas of how to get published, because those lecturers really want to get published. And at the top of my head at the moment, actually getting published is easy, especially when you talk about the lower levels of publication. For example, publishing for Q4, Q5, or Q3. But even publishing at Q1, I mean Scopus Q1, would be easy if you really know what you're talking about. But at the moment, I'm experiencing something very unique, because the reviewers, I've been reviewing the same materials again and again. I mean, I've been reviewing this article for 25 times, and I call it 4 rounds of reviewing. And now they have 2 platforms of submission. There's the first platform I have revised for almost 25 times, and now I'm moving. I thought I would be ready for publication, but they say I have to submit the materials, I mean the chapter, to Manuscript Central. It's a different platform, and I've been getting these replies saying that I have to resubmit the articles because of this reason, that reasons, and I don't know what happens, because they say I have to eliminate my name there. Okay, that's it. But actually, in the previous round of reviews, they say I have to write my name in it. And now it said no names in it. Okay, that's funny. But I'm going to follow. Then again, the other thing they say is that the paper is not. It's not an article. It sounds like a paper. So I got the idea now. So they want me to write an article, and to me, an article or a paper is the same. Of course, it's different, and I didn't really know that. This is a different kind of journal that I'm talking about. That's why the round of reviews are plenty, and then they say, I mean, one of the reviewers say this is not an article, it's a research paper. Research paper written by postgraduate students, so that's what I have in mind. Actually, I could go to another key one for that, but because the journal is very important, so I have to increase the level, and they talk about, they don't talk about data, they don't talk about methodology, they talk about theories. Oh my God, I've written to a wrong article or to a wrong journal, which is a different level. I'm going to go to that level. Okay? I really like that one. Okay. They say it's an interesting topic, but the way they're writing is different. Okay, I didn't know that, so that's a good learning experience. Because this one is different types of journals, so higher level journals. The one that I'm talking about, which is going to happen tomorrow, and they are just dying for Q3, not Q1. Okay, but Q1, they have different levels of Q1. Okay, so different levels of Q1. And one of my students undergraduate, salah satu dari mahasiswa saya di S1, sudah nulis di Q1 yang cukup tinggi. Jadi imperfectorial. Kalau imperfector ini 5, sekian, jadi sementara imperfector 0,1 saja sudah tinggi, bisa jadi lebih besar. Jadi, I like that. But why do I talk about that? If you're interested in phonology, then you can write something on phonology. Nobody writes that many in phonology. So if you want to get a better future, then why don't you invest your time in thinking or in phonology? Okay, that's the point. Right. So this is the one I call sociophonics. When we talk about phonology and social identity. So how social identity or identities are reflected in the sounds of languages that we use. Okay. This is the one we talk about in linguistic identities. We talk about social class, right? Stay. The source of linguistic identities. So when you say something, or when you speak a language, or when you say something, the words, the language, the ideas that you use represent your linguistic identities. And what can you see in your linguistic identity? In the language that you use. In the language that you use. In the way you use the language. So I can see your ethnicity. Okay, that's the question. How is ethnicity reflected in the language we use? Or in a more scientific term, you say, how is ethnicity constructed through the language that we use? Okay? If you say this word constructed, then your lecturer will be unhappy with it, because how you say identity is constructed like a building? Yes, that's what in linguistic theory you say that. So ethnicity is constructed through the language. Okay? When you sit there silently, you have no identity. But when you say something, then the way you say it will reflect your identity. The next one is also social class. Ethnicity is where you're from, but social class is the social structure that you possess yourself within the social society. So in Sasak, then you have a noble social class, you also have average social class, and you have low-level social class. But those are reflected in the language that they use. Okay? Not just in the vocabulary, not just in the lexicon, but also in the sounds of the language. Okay? So how you say a particular thing in the language reflects your social background. Okay, that's your social class. Okay? You are a student at university level, so the way you speak reflects your education background as well. Not just SMR students, but also university students, right? The next one is economic identity. How you speak reflect your income, okay? Could reflect your income. The way you speak, the way you dress, of course, okay? The way you dress, the way you present yourself as well, right? So that's social identity. But that's not linguistic identity. When you talk about dressing, that's not linguistic identity. So when you talk about linguistic identity is reflected, or linguistic identities, linguistics identities are reflected in the language that you use. Not just in the language, but also in the way you use the language. Okay? So economic identity. You can tell the economic incomes of the person because of the way they speak. Age as well. If you come of age, then you speak the way all the persons speak. Right? Gender, okay, the way you speak reflect your gender identity. Religiosity as well. Okay? There are so many. I'm going to list a few of it. So you can see Playboy identity as well. You can see, whether you are Playboy or not. It's just by the content of your talk. Pak Kamal talks about polygamy, and again, Pak Kamal is a Playboy. Right? Could be. Could be. Okay. Now, I'm not Playboy. I'm an educator. Educating you to accept polygamy. Polygamy is the solution.
Right.
Yeah. Polygamy. Right? So, but I'm not talking about the content. When you talk about the content of what says, it's not linguistic, it's discourse.